These are not ordinary 5-cent coins. These are the kind of coins that sit quietly in pockets and drawers while secretly being worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Imagine discovering that a small coin you've ignored for years could suddenly change everything. The moment you look closely at the surface, the date, the mint mark, or a tiny error, you step into the world of serious collectors for different 5-cent coins. 4 hidden stories, rare mint marks, powerful errors limited. Years and eye-opening conditions that most people never notice. These coins were never meant to be valuable, but history, mistakes, and rarity turned them into treasures. If you know what to look for, you might already be holding something special. Keep watching because every second reveals a new detail, and by the end you'll see why these 5-cent coins are no longer just pocket change, but silent money waiting to be discovered. Before you scroll away, take a moment and imagine this. The year is 1946. America has just come out of World War II. History is changing, metal compositions are changing, and quietly, a 5-cent coin is struck that most people today would never look at twice. The 1946 United States 5-cent coin may seem simple at first glance, but this coin marks a powerful transition in American coinage. It represents a new era, a new alloy, and a moment in time that collectors deeply respect when you hold. This coin, you are not just holding 5 cents, you are holding post-war history. And this is exactly where smart collectors begin to pay attention, because coins from transition years often hide surprises, rare mint marks, low survival numbers, and condition-based values that separate common change from serious money. Many people spend this coin without ever knowing what to check. But those who understand the details know that certain examples can carry strong value, especially when paired with sharp strikes, clean surfaces, or overlooked varieties. And this is only the beginning, because once you understand why the 1946 5-cent coin matters, your eyes open to the next coins, and the next, and the next, each one revealing why ordinary-looking 5-cent pieces can command collector attention and premium prices. Stay with this video from start to finish because every coin builds on the last, and by the time you reach the end, you won't just see 5-cent coins the same way again. You'll understand exactly why collectors search, study, and pay real money for coins most people ignore. The 1978 5-cent coin does not announce itself as something special. It does not shine loudly, and it does not beg for attention. Yet this is exactly why experienced collectors pause when they see it, because coins like this are often misunderstood, underestimated, and quietly overlooked by the public, while serious collectors understand that value is not always obvious at first glance. Struck at the Denver Mint during a time when U.S. coin production was focused on speed, volume, and circulation rather than perfection, the 1978 D-nickel carries the fingerprints of its era, an era where small details, subtle variations, and condition meant everything. Most people see this coin and think it is modern, common, and ordinary. But collectors know that value is not just about age. It is about context, survival, quality, and rarity within condition. And this is where the story of the 1978 5-cent coin truly begins, because millions were struck, yes, but very few survived in high-grade condition. Very few escaped heavy circulation, bag marks, weak strikes, and surface damage. And those few are the coins that change the conversation entirely. When you examine a 1978 D-nickel closely, you begin to notice things others never check. The sharpness of Jefferson's hair, the strength of the steps on Monticello, the quality of the strike, the luster, the absence of contact marks. And these details separate a coin worth face value from a coin that collectors actively compete for. Denver Mint coins from this period are especially known for strike inconsistencies, which makes fully detailed examples far scarcer than people realize, and scarcity in condition is one of the strongest drivers of value in modern coinage. This is why professional grading matters so much with this date, because once certified at higher levels, the perception of the coin changes instantly. It is no longer just a 1978 D-nickel, it becomes a condition rarity, a registry coin, a collector's target. And this is the point where prices begin to climb beyond what most people expect from a 5-cent piece. Many collectors today search rolls, old collections, and forgotten jars, specifically hoping to find a clean, sharply struck 1978 D example, because they understand that the window for finding untouched high-grade coins is closing every year. Circulation does not preserve coins. Time does not protect them. And once they are gone, they are gone. This coin also represents a moment. Before major design and production changes altered how nickels would look and feel in later decades, making it part of a transitional mindset in U.S. coin collecting. Not old enough to be antique, not new enough to be ignored, sitting right in the zone where smart collectors pay attention. And when you place the 1978 5-cent coin next to other dates, you begin to understand why it holds its own place in the market, not because of hype, not because of exaggeration, but because of real collector demand tied to real scarcity in the grades that matter. This is why dismissing coins like this is a mistake, because the market does not reward what is common. It rewards what survives in exceptional condition. And as more collectors enter the hobby and grading standards continue to tighten, coins like the 1978 nickel quietly gain respect, strength, and value. This is not a coin for impatient people looking for instant miracles. This is a coin for those who understand how numismatics truly works, how patience, knowledge, and detail turn ordinary metal into meaningful assets. And this is exactly why the 1978 5-cent coin deserves your attention, not as pocket change, but as a piece of American coinage history that still has more to reveal to those willing to look closely and stay until the very end. The 1985 5-cent coin often enters the conversation quietly, without drama, without shock, and without the kind of attention older or flashier coins receive. Yet this is exactly how many truly important modern coins behave. They wait, they blend in, and they test the patience and knowledge of the person holding them. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint during a period when coinage was produced in massive quantities to meet everyday demand, the 1985 nickel represents an era where quantity mattered more than precision, and this is where the collector's mindset begins to separate from the casual observer, because while millions of these coins were made, very few were made well, and even fewer survived well. Most people remember the 1980s as recent history, but in numismatics, this decade carries its own challenges: heavy circulation, inconsistent quality control, weak strikes, and surface issues that plagued many Philadelphia issues of the time. And when you examine a 1985 nickel closely, you begin to see why condition matters more here than age. Jefferson's portrait often appears soft, Monticello's steps are frequently incomplete, and contact marks from high-speed production lines tell a story of coins that were never meant to be saved. Which is exactly why collectors today take a second look, because coins that were not preserved are the ones that become difficult to replace in high grade. And this difficulty slowly transforms perception. What was once considered ordinary begins to gain respect, especially when sharp detail, original luster, and clean surfaces come together in one example. Philadelphia Mint coins from this period are particularly challenging to find with strong strikes, making fully detailed pieces far scarcer than their mintage numbers suggest. And this is where knowledge creates opportunity. Collectors who understand this do not dismiss the 1985 nickel. They study it, they compare examples, they look for subtle strength in design and preservation, because they know that the market rewards what others overlook. Grading plays a critical role here, because once a 1985 5-cent coin is certified at higher levels, its identity changes. It is no longer just a circulated nickel from the 1980s. It becomes a condition-focused collectible, a registry-level candidate, and a coin that attracts serious attention from those building complete and competitive sets. Demand for clean, high-grade modern nickels has grown steadily as collectors realize that finding perfection in mass-produced coins is far more difficult than finding age. And this shift in thinking has quietly strengthened the position of coins like the 1985 especially as time continues to reduce the pool of untouched examples. Every year more coins are damaged, cleaned, spent, or lost, and every year the survivors become more important. This is not a coin driven by hype or exaggerated stories. It is driven by fundamentals: survival, condition, demand, and patience. And those who understand this do not rush to judgment. They wait, they observe, and they recognize value before it becomes obvious to the wider public, which is why the 1985 5-cent coin holds a subtle but meaningful place in modern U.S. coin collecting, not as spare change, but as a quiet example of how ordinary coins evolve into respected collectibles over time. And by the time collectors fully appreciate what high-grade examples truly represent, the conversation changes from curiosity to competition, from interest to demand, and from 5 cents to real market value, collector premium, certified scarcity, long-term potential, and undeniable numismatic worth. The 1999 5-cent coin belongs to a time when most people believed modern coins had no future value, a time when pocket change was seen as disposable and unworthy of attention. Yet history has a way of proving that assumption wrong. Struck at the Denver Mint at the very edge of a new millennium, this coin carries more significance than its simple appearance suggests. It represents the closing moments of one era and the quiet beginning of another, a period when coin production was under pressure, demand was high, and quality often took a back seat to quantity, and this environment created conditions that collectors pay close attention to today, because when millions of coins are rushed into circulation, true quality becomes rare, and rarity within condition is where modern numismatic value is born. The 1999 D nickel is often overlooked because it feels recent, familiar, and ordinary. But collectors know that familiarity does not equal abundance in high-grade form, most of these coins entered circulation immediately, picked up marks, lost luster, and suffered from weak strikes, especially on Monticello's steps and fine design details. And this reality quietly reshapes the market, because while the date itself is common, truly sharp, well-preserved examples are not. When examined closely, a high-quality 1999 D 5-cent coin tells a very different story, strong detail. Clean fields, original mint luster, and minimal contact marks transform it from spare change into a serious collector piece. Denver Mint issues from this period are especially known for strike variability, making fully detailed coins far scarcer than people assume. And this scarcity becomes more visible with each passing year as fewer untouched examples remain. Collectors who understand this do not rush past the 1999 D nickel. They pause, they inspect, and they compare, because they know that modern coins are not judged by age alone but by survival, precision, and demand. Grading once again plays a critical role, as certified high-grade examples instantly change how the market views this coin, turning it into a registry-worthy piece and a target for collectors building complete and competitive sets. Demand for clean modern nickels has grown steadily as more collectors realize how difficult perfection truly is in mass-produced coinage. And this growing awareness quietly strengthens the position of coins like the 1999 D, not through hype, but through fundamentals, scarcity in condition, collector competition, and long-term perspective. This is why coins from the late 1990s are being reevaluated today, not because they are old, but because they survived, and survival is what ultimately creates value. When you follow this logic through the entire video, coin by coin, you begin to understand that 5-cent pieces are not just money. They are records of production, history, and human decision-making, and by the time you reach the end, the idea of pocket change disappears, replaced by appreciation, awareness, and respect for what these small coins truly represent. And if this video helped you see these coins differently, if it changed the way you look at the change in your hand, make sure you subscribe to Rare Coin Secrets USA for more deep insights, hidden values, and collector knowledge. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being part of a community that looks closer, thinks deeper, and never underestimates the power of a small coin.